Welcome to Trading Nation. I'm Sarah Eisen. Bitcoin still down more than 60% from its all-time high. If you're trying to figure out when the crypto slump could come to an end, you may want to look at the emerging markets. Bitcoin bull Tom Lee of Fundstrat is detecting a correlation between the two. Tom, tell us exactly what you're seeing.
Hey, Sarah, how are you? I think emerging markets historically has been viewed as a sector that's kind of rented by a lot of hedge funds, so foreign capital flows really affect those markets. And when emerging markets does well, it's because we're in a risk-on environment, and when it does poorly, obviously it's risk-off. There's a pretty interesting relationship between Bitcoin and emerging market equities, and both really essentially peaked early this year, and they've both been in a downward trend. And so I think until emerging markets begins to turn, I think in some ways that correlation is going to hold and tell us that, sort of the risk-on mentality is those buyers aren't buying Bitcoin.
I get what you're saying as far as risk appetite, Tom, but it's a little counterintuitive, right? Because a lot of the declines in emerging market stocks have coincided with declines in emerging market currencies. And you would think that when folks in Turkey or South Africa see the value of their currency fall so dramatically, they would load up on Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's very true, especially if a country implements currency controls or capital controls. But the vast majority of trading isn't necessarily happening in those EMs that are really suffering. It's in countries like Japan, Korea, China, or parts of China, and strong dollar, I think, has actually been a headwind for crypto in the sense that if you want to, own a risk-free asset or if you're doing risk-off, you're going to be buying dollars. So I don't know, and I think there's a wealth effect as well, which is as emerging market stocks have fallen, there's less capital available to actually buy cryptocurrencies.
So what's your view on emerging markets right now? How much more pain do you see in the group?
Well, it's a little peculiar because the EM stocks. The MSCI EM index has underperformed the S&P by almost 22% in the past 12 months. That's something that you only see during recessions. So outside of recessions, it's only happened twice. One was during the debt crisis 97, 98, and then of course when we had the peripheral debt crisis in 2011 to 2013. So it's kind of unusual because it's sending a very strange economic signal. I do think that EM stocks are getting attractive, so I think there's a fundamental case for investors to start buying, but rising interest rates, strong dollar, these have been headwinds for EM.
Absolutely. So add it all up for the price of Bitcoin. I know you've had a pretty high target, 25K. Where do you think we'll end the year?
I still think it's possible, Sarah. The problem right now is that crypto sentiment's so negative, and investors and even those who are pretty big believers in the technology think there's downside, but Bitcoin hasn't been falling on two negative developments this week, right? We had the ETF denials, and then right. China, issued almost a brand new ban on an expanded area where crypto can't be taking place, and yet Bitcoin's held. So, what's important to keep in mind is Bitcoin's returns occur really within just 10 days in any year. Those 10 days average about a 500% gain. So Bitcoin doesn't have to end the year at 7,000. It could end the year, more in our view, which is, explosively higher.
Interesting relationship. Thanks for talking through it with us. Tom Lee, always good to
Thanks,
talk
Sarah.
to you from Fundstrat. And thank you all for watching Trading Nation. I'm Sarah Eisen. We'll see you next time. Hey traders, did you like that video? There's more where that came from. Scroll down and click on the links to the right of your screen. We publish new videos and commentaries from our experts every day. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter @Trading Nation.